The lock clicked, but the door wouldn't budge. I shoved harder, my heart pounding as muffled bass thumped from inside my own ranch house. I've been gone 3 days early, thank God, and now my home, my sanctuary, was vibrating with chaos. Through the window, I glimpsed her, Karen, my ex-neighbor, strutting like she owned the place, a wine glass in one hand, her designer heels clicking on my hardwood floors. Streamers hung sloppily from my chandelier. Strangers sprawled across my furniture. My blood boiled. Karen had no right to be here. None. This wasn't just a party, it was a violation, a deliberate slap in the face. I'd known Karen for years, ever since she moved into the upscale neighborhood bordering my ranch. She was the kind of person who'd complain about my horse's smell while hosting loud galas that kept everyone awake. She'd once called the cops on me for excessive dust from my gravel drive, ironic, considering she'd now turned my home into a frat house. We'd clashed before, but this was war. I grabbed my phone, hands shaking, and dialed 911. "There's a break-in at my property," I said, voice tight. "Send someone now." Karen's history with me was a saga of petty grudges. She'd always coveted my ranch, 40 acres of rolling hills, a sprawling house I'd built with my late husband. She'd made snide comments at HOA meetings, hinting I didn't deserve such a big place alone. I'd ignored her, kept my distance. But last month, I'd made the mistake of mentioning my weekend trip to a mutual friend, Lila. Karen must have overheard. She'd seen her chance and pounced, assuming I'd never know. But I'd come back early, and now she'd pay. As I waited for the police, I circled the house, documenting the damage. My rose garden-me pride and joy was trampled, petals crushed into the dirt. Beer cans littered the porch. Inside, I could see my antique dining table, a gift from my grandmother, being used as a makeshift beer pong arena. My stomach churned. How dare she? Then a twist. Lila, my supposed friend, emerged from the crowd, laughing, arm in arm with Karen. Lila, who'd known my plans, who'd always seemed neutral in our feud. Betrayal stung sharper than the trespass. Had she helped Karen plan this? I snapped photos through the window, my hands steadying with rage. The police arrived, lights flashing, cutting through the dusk. I met Officer Daniels at the gate, showing him the evidence on my phone. "That's my house," I said, pointing. "Karen's inside, throwing a party without permission. She's not a tenant, not a guest, nothing." Daniels nodded, his face grim. "Let's handle this." We approached the front door, now ajar, music blaring. Karen spotted us and froze, her smug grin faltering. The crowd hushed, sensing trouble. "What's this about?" she demanded, her voice dripping with false innocence. She adjusted her diamond necklace, as if it could shield her. "Ma'am, this is private property," Daniels said. "You're not authorized to be here." Karen scoffed, tossing her hair. "Oh, please. I was invited. This is just a little gathering." She gestured at the chaos-broken glass, spilled drinks, a cracked picture frame on the floor as if it were nothing. I stepped forward, my voice low but steady. "You weren't invited, Karen. You broke in. You destroyed my home." Her eyes narrowed, but I held her gaze. The crowd murmured, some slipping out the back. Lila, still by Karen's side, looked uneasy, her eyes darting away. Daniels asked for proof of ownership. I pulled out my property deed on my phone, emailed to me for emergencies like this. Karen's face twitched as she realized her lie was crumbling. "This is a misunderstanding," she stammered, but Daniels wasn't buying it. He radioed for backup, then turned to the crowd. "Party's over. Everyone out." People scattered, leaving Karen and Lila standing alone amidst the wreckage. I pointed out the damage, a shattered vase, the stained rugs, the gouges in my walls. Each item felt like a wound. Then came the twist sting. Lila spoke up, her voice trembling. "I didn't know she'd do this," she said, avoiding my eyes. "Karen said you'd lent her the place for a charity event." "Charity event?" My jaw dropped. Karen had spun a lie, so bold it almost sounded plausible. But Lila's hesitation, her nervous fidgeting, told me she'd suspected something was off and still went along. "You knew my plans, Lila," I said, my voice cold. "You let her in?" Lila's face crumpled, but Karen just rolled her eyes. "Oh, grow up," she snapped. "It's just a house." That was the moment Karen's facade cracked. Daniels handcuffed her, citing criminal trespass and property damage. She shrieked, her polished demeanor dissolving into hysterics. "You can't do this. Do you know who I am?" she yelled, as if her status could erase the law. The second officer cataloged the damage, taking statements from straggling guests who confirmed Karen had bragged about taking over my ranch. Lila, now in tears, apologized profusely, but the damage was done both to my home and our friendship. As Karen was led to the squad car, her designer dress rumpled, her mascara streaking, the weight of her actions hit her. The crowd, now gathered outside, whispered and recorded, their phones capturing her downfall. My roses, my table, my peace feed all been collateral in her selfish stunt. But watching her squirm, I felt a flicker of justice. She thought she could waltz in my life, my home, and claim it as her stage. She was wrong. The police towed her car, impounded as evidence. Cleanup would take weeks, and the cost would be steep, but I'd pursue every penny in court. Lila lingered, offering to help, but I waved her off. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend easily. As the last guests vanished into the night, I stood in my doorway, surveying the mess. My ranch, my haven, had been violated, but it was still mine. I'd rebuild, replant, restore. Karen's arrogance had cost her more than she'd ever imagined: her reputation, her freedom, and her pride. In the days that followed, the story spread. Neighbors texted, shocked but unsurprised. Karen's name became a cautionary tale, a reminder that entitlement has consequences. I hung a new sign by my gate: private property. Trespassers will be prosecuted. It wasn't just for Karen, it was for anyone who thought they could take what wasn't theirs. My ranch was more than a house. It was my strength, my history. No one, not even Karen, could steal that. What would you do if someone invaded your space, your sanctuary? Was I too harsh, or was justice served? Share your thoughts. Where do you draw the line between right and wrong?